Ever since I watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I've always been enthralled with the Wild West setting. The horses, the duels, the paying women to bathe you. Hell, my great-great-grandfather was addicted to snake oil. There are several popular examples of the Wild West in video games, but chief among them is Rockstar's Red Dead franchise. And I think Red Dead is always neglected by Rockstar. There's only 3 games compared to GTA 16, and Red Dead Online was abandoned for GTA 6. I think in the future, if they make another Red Dead, I'd love to see it get the praise that it deserves. But enough talk about Red Dead Redemption. Let's go back in time to a little game that came before. Grand Theft Auto Mission Pack number 1. Despite this being the first entry in one of Rockstar's 2 surviving IPs, I never hear anyone talking about this game. Hell, if I didn't own it as a kid, I wouldn't even know it existed. Despite owning this game as a young child, I don't remember much about it, and therefore I lack nostalgia goggles. And without further AEIOU, this is Red Dead Revolver. Throughout the game, you mainly play as Red Harlow, a character debatably canon to the other Red Dead games, acting as more of a folklore character than someone actually integral to the overarching plot.
And my brother, he's dead now, but he used to tell me stories about Red Harlow.
Before we move on to the story, I'm gonna give a little spoiler warning. Let me lay it to you straight. I don't think the story is particularly good, but I figure I should give a little heads up anyway. So you enter the first level playing as a child Red. His father and his partner find a gold mine, and it made him rich. They got fat stacks, if you will. Red's father hands him his old revolver, cause he's bought a new gat. Red's father buying a new gun is treated as a big deal in the story, but my father buys a new gun every week. Red goes down to the riverbed where the tutorial is, and here I want to talk about the game mechanics. Obviously, you can shoot, and I think it's inconsistent but really gosh dang fun. There is no such thing as a consistent headshot, and you have to fill an enemy full of lead before they decide to take a nap. And despite that, I enjoy the gunplay a lot more than Redemption 2. It's much more arcadey and archaic, and makes you feel really powerful in a way that the other Red Deads don't live up to. Other than the main shooting segment, there's dueling, which in contrast to the regular gameplay, I'm not a fan of at all. Most later duels have opponents with thick skulls, so a single headshot won't kill them. And the way that the shooting works, it's hard to get it consistently. At least me personally couldn't find a way. Thankfully, dueling is only a small amount of the gameplay, only really a couple scattered throughout the game. Continuing on with the story, the house gets raided, and Red has to join his dad in fighting the raiders. And I can add that to the list of games that play with child death in it. The raiders kill Red's father, and Red is left alone. Little bitch. Bunch of shit happens. Most of the early game does not matter, so I'm going to be skipping forward to where it gets interesting. Also, I hate all the characters in this game. They are so bland and have no substance, so I won't mention them until later. So Red finds out the general that killed his parents is around town, so he goes to take him out. Red takes out his right-hand man first, then he goes for him directly. Thinking it's all over, Red enters a dueling competition. And on the final round, the governor, being a sore loser, tries to kill you even though you won the duel. And you find out he was your dad's partner who helped find the gold mine. You and your buddies, who I haven't mentioned up until now, go to take him down. And this level is hard as hell. Took me forever to beat it, but God was it satisfying to complete it. You beat the governor, and you make it to the courtyard of his mansion. There you find out that one of the main characters has died, and there's approximately 3 seconds of silence to mourn him before the subject is changed and he is never brought up again.
Well, Red, I'm not saying Griffin didn't deserve it, but he was the governor.
Now that's the end of the main story, but I want to go back to the gameplay really quick. So every character has their own special ability. Red has the traditional Deadeye, which is used among all the Red Dead games, though in this game, it's kind of bad. The British guy Jack Swift has a version of the Deadeye, which is much more powerful and just overall better. It covers the enemy in a bunch of targets, and most of the time it's an instant kill. Annie Stokes has an explosive round, which I think is less powerful than the normal round. Shadow Wolf has a fire arrow. Diego has a flare shot, which I think is just used for the mission and has no actual effect on the enemies. And the Buffalo Soldier has another explosive round, which acts a bit differently, but equally as useless in its missions. Oh yeah, the shops in the game. There's a couple throughout the main towns, and occasionally before missions in cases where the missions are packed back to back. Most of the time you're buying guns or expository dialogue, which I've read none of. There's also a rare Deadeye upgrade, though it's a little useless because you rarely ever fill up your Deadeye. Also, speaking of upgrades, when you complete a chapter in the game, you unlock one of two things depending on how well you do in the level. That being based on a couple different factors, like accuracy and time taken to complete the mission. The rewards range from showdown characters and stages to the occasional Deadeye and health upgrades. Last thing I should mention before taking my InfoWars supplements, the multiplayer mode is awesome. So awesome, it overloaded my friend's circuit box and had his power shut off.
Turn around and look up. Total shock.
It's pretty surface level, but I think it encapsulates the fun of the janky shooting. I believe there's 3 modes, but I couldn't figure out how to change modes, so I can only talk about Bounty. In Bounty, you get money for killing other players. First to get to $3,000 wins. When players die, they also drop cards which grant special boosts. Overall, a nice addition to the game that I'm pretty sure is also in Red Dead Redemption. But the one time I tried playing Redemption multiplayer, it was super laggy and full of hackers, which may I add is the weirdest game to hack on. Also in the Redemption multiplayer, some of the Revolver characters make an appearance as DLC, making their second and last appearance in video game outside of mentions. Have you heard of the Pixar theory? For those who haven't, it's a theory that all Pixar movies are in one big connected universe. I think the Pixar theory is dumb for a multitude of reasons, but I like to propose my own theory. All Rockstar games are in one big connected universe. Hear me out. Whether it be John Weston's hat in LA Noire, or Carson City from Manhunt being mentioned in GTA. With this, I think we have some solid evidence. Easter eggs don't exist, so personally, I think all the Rockstar games, or at least most of them, are in a connected universe. In conclusion, Red Dead Revolver is completely worth your time. I completed it in under a day, which is rare for me with a game of this size. Hello, 2 a.m. Jenny here. Yes, my username is just pronounced like Jenny. I forgot to, or at least I think I did. I think I forgot to record the outro to this. At least I could not find it. So I'm doing something a bit off the cuff here, no script. I was not much of a fan of my the outro I recorded or didn't, whatever was scripted at. But let's just consider this video a proof of concept. I know my delivery was weird. I know everything about it was a little scuffed, but I had a lot of fun editing this. I'm not entirely done with the editing at the time of recording this little outro, but I am so ecstatic to just get this out here and start the next project. I already have all my ideas in my head, all these little just ideas what would make a good video. Personally, right now, I'm thinking either another childhood game of mine on the PS2, Maximo Ghost of Glory, and on the other side, a more general topic of rhythm games. And I think both could work, and I'm just really excited to get to work on those. I don't know how much I'm cutting up this outro, it's going on a bit long. But if you like this, you want to see more, you want to see me make actual good content, please follow me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. Thank you. Thank you for making it this far.